Well, viewers, this is it. The true first episode of Season 1 on my channel. So hi, I'm Yonik, and I said in my update video just now, not only that the video you're watching right now is the true first episode of Season 1, as opposed to that update video, but also that it would either be a Conquer-related video, or a video about what I think Nintendo's next system will be. And guess what it is in the end, viewers? Guess what it is in the end, indeed. Oh yeah, and after 3 years of absence from YouTube, yes viewers, I am back. So yeah, I'm also making this video as my official welcome back video, as opposed to that update one. So, hooray for me, I think. Anyways, enough with the introduction, now let's move on to where to start. Here's a question, viewers. What video game company is well known for saving the gaming industry and great IPs?
If you guessed Nintendo, then you're right. Originally funded back in 1889 as a playing card company, they ventured into various lines of business during the 1960s, but they didn't enter the gaming industry until the 1970s, with one of their first outings in the gaming world being their first video game console, the Color TV Game, released in 1977, but they didn't get international recognition there until the 80s, with 3 famous releases: Donkey Kong in 1981 for the arcades, their Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985, and Super Mario Bros. The same year for that system. Since then, they are like the most successful company in the gaming industry, not only by making more successful systems like the Game Boy, DS, Wii, and Switch, but also by making numerous major franchises like Zelda, Pokemon, Kirby, Metroid, Star Fox, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, and Super Smash Bros. And let me tell you, that's saying something, because out of all 3 of the current console companies, they have been around the longest time, and they've been releasing consoles since the 2nd generation of gaming. There's one catch about their longevity though. This generation of gaming, the 9th one to be exact, there hasn't been any news on their 9th generation system, not counting their 8th gen console and handheld hybrid, the Switch, which was released 3 years before both the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Publications like The Verge say that Nintendo said that its next system will release in 20XX, which technically means before 2100, giving Nintendo 78 years to come up with a successor to the Switch or something like that. At the time of me writing this, I first noticed it just last week, and at first, I thought it was a cute little reference to their Metroid series of games, because its latest outing, Metroid Dread, was trending at the time. But here's the thing, Nintendo actually said that in a presentation to investors. In a slide, they talk about their plans to, and I quote, continue to expand its business around the core concept of creating unique integrated hardware-software products, or how I say it, to continue their business of making innovative video game software and hardware. In that same slide, they have a timeline of some of their efforts in the console market, including its next system, which they slated to release at an unspecified 20XX date. Not to mention, they put an image of a question mark there because they don't know what it will look like yet. That still somewhat looks like that Metroid reference I mentioned just now, so if it is actually both the whole time, then I can not only say what I said about that Metroid thing, but also, damn, are they clever.
Technically, the Switch is an 8th gen system, but it was released mid-generation, giving it a chance to act like a 9th gen one, like the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. And here's the thing about when Nintendo will release its next system, well, the very latest I want them to do so is when they run out of ideas for the system.
You know, it sounds crazy, but here's the thing. Nintendo said the same thing for their Wii console in 2010. President of Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, felt confident that the Wii home entertainment console has a very long life in front of it, and declared that its successor wouldn't be released in the near future. Not only that, but also, after Nintendo's E3 2010 presentation, their president at the time, the late Satoru Iwata, said to BBC that they would announce a new system when they ran out of ideas with the current hardware and cannot give users any more meaningful surprises with the technology. It's just that they apparently didn't have too many ideas left for the system, which I think is a bit more likely than sacrificing their ideas for the Wii in order to stay competitive in the console market, to be honest. And heck, they can do the same thing to the Switch. Continue to make software for it until they run out of ideas.
Well, honestly, I'm not a fortune teller, but here's my prediction for when Nintendo will run out of ideas for the Switch. But there's a chance I could be wrong, so expect okay. Anyways, I predict that Nintendo will run out of ideas for the Switch after the end of the 9th generation of gaming at the earliest. And I predict that the 9th generation of gaming will end in 6 years' time. And because the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S shortages are most likely to end in 2 years' time, let's all pray that that will be the case. That way, we'll all be relieved that there will indeed be at least enough PS5 and Xbox Series consoles to release this generation of gaming.
Anyways, about what I said when Nintendo will run out of ideas for the Switch, if Nintendo wants to stay competitive in the gaming industry with the Switch, they can at latest release a new system at the start of the 10th generation of gaming, and if they still have any ideas left for the Switch, they could keep it alive by releasing new models of it, make a Game Boy Color-like successor to it or whatever.
And let me tell you, viewers, I don't think Nintendo needs to release a 9th gen system.
I know that sounds weird, but remember when I said that the Switch is technically an 8th gen system? Well, like I said, it was also released in the middle of the generation, giving it a chance to compete with the likes of 9th gen systems. Not only that, but also, Nintendo already released both a console and a handheld at the start of that generation. And guess what they are? Yup, the Wii U 3DS. It's just that the Wii U sold so awfully that it became part of the reason for Nintendo to make the Switch in the first place, making it arguably the first true home console and handheld hybrid. I mean, sure, Nintendo can release a new home console and handheld that generation, but honestly, I think that would be redundant, because why do you want one console you can only play at home and one console you can only play on the go when you have the Switch, in which you can do both? However, a way for the Switch to compete with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S was with revisions for the system, with the most recent being released a year after the launches of both the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, the Switch OLED, which may be a better version of the Switch, but honestly, a 4K compatible revision of the Switch would be nice. At least it's rumored to still be in development. That way the system will be able to catch up to the competition in terms of technology, so it won't really seem obsolete. So maybe this and a few other revisions for the system later on this generation will be enough for it to keep Nintendo competitive. And finally, about what that next system will be, well, I honestly don't know what it will be, but that's okay because not only am I not a fortune teller like I said before, but also, 3 words, viewers, I don't care. I mean, sure, they can release it as a home console, a handheld, or both, but to be honest, I think all upcoming systems should be home console and handheld hybrids, because when it comes to gaming, who wants to do only one or the other? I mean, sure, they need to have really good technology and to catch up to what home consoles can do technically in order to make that happen, so I can count that off as a good reason not to do so, but hey, I'm just saying, you all know that Nintendo talked about their next system vaguely in a presentation to investors, right? Well, I think I have a solution for this, or at least my own for that matter. I think Nintendo will release their next system when they run out of ideas for the Switch or something like that. And I think they'll run out of ideas for the Switch at the end of the 9th generation at earliest, but in order to stay competitive in the console market in the meantime, they can release revisions for the Switch that won't make the system really seem out of date. They also don't need to release anything in that generation, and last but not least, I don't care what their next system will be, whether it will be a home console, a handheld, or both. However, that's not to say that that will be the right solution. In fact, it can also be entirely wrong. Honestly, I'm not here to state what's true and what's not in the future because, for the last time, I ain't a fortune teller. Instead, I'm here to say what I think will happen in the future, whether it will be true or not. So, let's call this just a prediction. Not a factual or dishonest video, just a prediction. And it can be wrong in the future no matter how long, just like other prediction videos. You'll also be accusing me of making a prediction video like that just days after the presentation occurred, with the addition of just a month after the release of the Switch OLED. Well, at first, I honestly hadn't noticed that, and even if I did, I would just make that video anyway for multiple reasons, including my mention of my Metroid reference and my joke about the chip shortage affecting the console market right now. So, go ahead and disregard me. After all, we people do up, okay? And one more thing about my prediction. If it's a prediction like that, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be true. Sure, it can be more like a theory, but here's the thing. Nobody can be entirely right or wrong. After all, I ain't a know-it-all, and because I ain't a know-it-all, I don't get everything right, including my prediction on Nintendo's next system. So, go ahead, Nintendo, you do you. And if you want, you can do whatever I say. I'm not telling you you should, I'm just saying what I think you will do, so whether you want to do whatever I say or not, good luck.
And there it is, viewers, the true first episode of Season 1 of my channel. And it happens to be a prediction video about what Nintendo's next system will be. I hope you enjoyed it, and you don't need to call me out for being wrong, and I'm letting you make your own prediction about Nintendo's next system, and don't worry, it doesn't need to be like mine, so everyone can be right or wrong, including me. Anyways, thanks for watching, and now tell me your predictions about Nintendo's next system. Let me know in the comments. Oh, and one more thing, viewers. Let's all pray that the prediction in which both the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S consoles will start being available in 2023 is indeed true. That way, there will be enough stock of both of these systems to last the entire 9th generation of gaming.